Welcome to the Modco Podcast. Conversations about life, organization, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. This show was created for every woman who needs motivation, inspiration, and a reminder to give herself grace. The mission here is simple: be transparent, non-judgmental, authentic, honest, and to have fun. Because sometimes you need to laugh at yourself. I'm your host, Angel. Sit back and get ready for valuable tips, resources, laughs, and more. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back, and I hope you brought a friend. If this is your first time here, welcome, and thanks for joining.
Welcome to another awesome and exciting episode of the Marco Podcast. Be sure to grab some food and drinks and just chillax.
Hello. Today's episode is another lesson for my son. He is really on it this year with his lessons and dropping little gems of knowledge on me, and I am all here for it. So, this lesson happened on our last day of winter break. And at first, he wanted to go out and do some things, but I was like, it's supposed to be cold outside and I think it's going to rain. So he said, well, can we just chill and play the video game? I was like, cool, free activity indoors. I'm here for it. I was supposed to have a podcast recording mid morning, and I told him that after I finish my recording, we go to Chick-fil-A, then we come back and we play the game for the rest of the afternoon. Well, my recording ended up getting canceled, so we slept in a little bit, which was cool. It was our last day, so that was a bonus for us. Went to Chick-fil-A, did all that stuff, and he decided he wanted to play all of the mini games on Mario Jamboree. And for those of you who don't know, it's like the newest Mario Party or whatever. They update it like every couple of years, and that's what we decided we were going to do. Some of the games I had played before, because I think he just got this one maybe around October or November. And so I haven't played all of the mini games on it. And we got to one game that I played before, but I'm not very good at it. I was like, I don't like this game. I can never get it right. And he responded with, it's okay, mommy. Didn't you say that if we want to get good at something, we have to keep practicing? He was like, you just need to keep practicing. Don't give up on it. And I'm over here like, dang, here he goes, spitting my words back out at me. I was like, okay, cool, but it's a good lesson. So we keep playing and we get to another game that I've never played before. And I couldn't get past one of the obstacles. Like, no matter how hard I tried, I just could not get past the obstacle. Some of the mini games are every player for themselves, some are one versus three, some are two versus two. So this one happened to be an every player for themselves game. And he was in the lead. And he looks over at me and he asked me if I wanted him to help me. And I was like, no, I said, it's okay. You can keep going. You're almost to the finish line. And he was like, are you sure? He said, I don't mind. I'll stop and I'll help. And I was like, no, I said, it's okay. I was like, just keep going. So he kept going, but the whole time he was encouraging me. Like, he never stopped encouraging me, even when you could tell that I was going to come in last place and there was no point me even trying to like finish it or trying to, well, not finish it, but there was no point me trying to catch up because everyone else was so far ahead. He was still encouraging me and telling me what to do, like which buttons to press and how to turn so that I could get past the obstacle. So the game happened to come around again because after we played all of the mini games, he then wanted to go back and play all the ones that he had favorited. And that was one of the ones that he had favorited. So he offered to switch controllers with me and play my character so I could get ahead. And I was like, no, I said, it's okay. And so when I got to the obstacle that I got stuck on the last time, he said, at least let me get you past this point. And I handed him the controller. In that moment, I was like, why can't adults be like this? Why can't business owners be like that? Why can't we, one, ask people for help when we need it, and two, accept help when someone is trying to give it to us? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wow, he's currently in first place, but he stopped to help the underdog. He risked his place in line to help me. I was thinking, how often do we stop to help the underdog? As adults and business owners, we are so scared to stop and help the underdog. We don't want to share knowledge with someone else because we don't want them to pass us. We don't want them to be so-called better than us because then that makes us feel some type of way. But at that moment, my son was not thinking about any of that. All he saw was that I was struggling, frustrated, and I needed help. He didn't care about falling behind. He cared more about me learning how to get past the obstacle and figuring out that particular board. And he took the time to show me what needed to be done instead of leaving me in the dust. He could have easily just been like, oh, okay, well, I'm winning, whatever. It's not like you play this game often or we have to play this board often. You can just figure it out yourself. He stopped and he took the time to help. I know I've told you all before that we love to play board games and we are super competitive when it comes to playing board games. Usually my husband wins pretty much every time we play. No matter the game, he usually wins. One night over our winter break, my son and I had both we were fed up with my husband winning, y'all. Like we were just so tired of it. We were tired of him winning, and we was also tired of him bragging when he won. So we were playing Monopoly, which is our current go-to game that we're stuck on now. And I went bankrupt. We do a second life in Monopoly. And he was like, do you want a second life? I was like, no, I'm done. I'm just out. I don't want a second life. He said, okay. He said, Mommy, I'm going to win this for both of us. In our house, the person who wins the game gets to pick the next game that we play, and they get to go first on that game. So he was like, I'm going to win it for both of us, and we can share the win. He told me that he would pick the game, but I could go first on the game, which in sense also made his dad be last because the order that we go, it would have made me first, my son second, and my husband last. And I was just like, share his win. Like, how sweet and kind is that? And he's always just so thoughtful like that. He saw that we had a common goal, which was to beat his daddy and stop him from bragging at the board game. And he decided that if one of us won, both of us won. How many times have you had a common goal with someone and they fell off or they lost and you were happy for their downfall? You were happy to see that they didn't make it as far as they wanted to and that they didn't surpass you or that they didn't beat you. Or you saw them as, one less person for you to compete with. But how many times have you offered to share the win or to help them reach that common goal? How many times have you been hoping for someone's downfall and the whole time they were cheering you on and praying for the best for you? So, my point with this episode is we all need a little help sometimes. There's nothing wrong with asking for help or accepting it when someone else is offering. There's nothing wrong with cheering on someone who has the same goal as you or sharing knowledge with someone who has the same goal as you. Because if both of you work together, you never know what could happen. All right, that's all for today. I'll talk to you all next time. Are you loving the Modco podcast? Head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and review. This helps others to find the show and gets the show listed in the recommendations section. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode and that you're able to gain something from it. Talk to you next time. Thank you to Chris Leonard for the music for this week's episode.